There is no crazy news today. However, yesterday there was the most insane news that we've gotten since the earnings report of August 4th, the quarter two. This is the biggest piece of news we've got since then, and the video got no views. I recommend you go watch that because this is, no one saw this, although this is literally the most important for the investors to know what's going on with the company. What are these guys doing? And I'm going to give you a quick recap right now to save you time if you don't want to go to another video. But if you want an actual in-depth analysis on how this is going to affect the damn sales and what this is likely going to mean, I recommend the other video. Now, in short, I would just say that this company with Bionano, I mean, we're going to be co-developing a product. There's not much information on what the product's going to be, but it's the possibilities here are very auspicious. And regardless of how auspicious, they're only going to be good. It's not like they're going to release a product and then it's going to just do nothing, right? If it's at the very worst, like the bear case scenario in this situation is that it's a Sapphire plus NuProbe tech. That's it. It's nothing new, nothing special. It's just an all-in-one option for Cyto Labs. That's cool. That's going to get some sales. Best case scenario, this is some innovation, diagnostics, maybe, and I'm not going to give in the evidence for that. Maybe it's like a nanonozzle precursor. Maybe what if this was the nanonozzle? Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to make the case, but what if? The possibilities, we just don't know. We just don't have information about this. So I'm not going to go in, and it's reproductive health and oncology testing, right? It's not research only, research and development. No, it's testing. So I don't know. You tell me. What do you think this is? Right? We got a very positive reaction from most people on the stream today and yesterday's videos, comments in the Discord. Almost everybody seems to be on the same page with thinking this is big. This is pretty damn big. So I will leave you there. Please go watch the other video if you want more news. Now for news today, right? Again, we don't have anything crazy. I have this article for you that was this was a couple days ago. We're gonna briefly go over some cool stuff in there. Earnings report. I'm gonna keep bringing this up. Okay, the big pieces of news we're gonna keep bringing up because when we're looking at a company and analyzing it, these are things that don't just happen and you just don't think about them, or they just don't matter at all after like a week after they've been out. This is the most recent information that we have about how the company's been doing. All right, so I want to tie this into a future revenue thesis, kind of, if you will. And we're also going to be using ChartMill's actual exact numbers here in the trajectory that we're looking at. And I just want to explain to people, like, bear case, what's going to happen in 4 years from now, right? In 2025, what is Bionano going to be valued at if we have a bear case scenario and things don't go as well as the bulls think it will, as some of the bulls think it will? Also, upcoming events, and then again, I'm going to plug this again for your own good, okay? I don't know why. This is like the video that I worked the hardest for out of the entire week. I did the timestamps, I promoted it, it's 22 minutes. I think I did a very good job with that. No one knows, and the reason why I worked so much harder on that video than others is because it is the biggest damn news that we had since earnings. So I hope more people will go and watch that. So anyways, without anything else, let's go ahead and start with the first thing we're covering, and then we'll also at the end cover the technical analysis very briefly and what I'm thinking as far as the charts. This is the article that was released on August 30th, so this is a couple days ago. So this is an interesting quote right here. In the second quarter, Bionano's revenue of $3.9 million was up 226% year over year. The company shipped 13 Sapphire systems during the quarter, bringing its installed base to 121 units. That's cool. As that number is growing, that's the key. It's growth, and I'm gonna tie this in what this means. What we're going over now with the ChartMill revenue estimates, and it's growing and has the potential to ramp up significantly. An investor place contributor Larry Raymer notes Sapphire has big advantages over current DNA analysis technology, and that is faster, more detailed, and tests are far cheaper. And that's the key. Another place that is admitting, and they're not, I guess they're not admitting it, or not. I always say admitting. They're noting that this is happening. You know, he's saying Larry Raymer is noting, and Larry Raymer is saying it's cheaper, but still, this guy wouldn't publish this article and have an implicit meaning where, you know, he kind of agrees with this. I mean, as far as we can tell, he agrees with Larry Raymer because he's kind of saying, you know, we're growing, there's good things happening, and Sapphire has big advantages. It's cheaper, as Larry Raymer notes. So the more people that admit that the Sapphire is cheaper, that's kind of the most important thing for me, spec-wise. We are cheaper, because that's the place where we get the most dissenT. That's where the discourse gets interesting, because Simon Barnett he is a person that thinks Bionano is not completely cheaper. He thinks the cost of goods sold and the cost per sample is not that good for Sapphire. However, this is just, in my opinion, okay, to my understanding, this is just totally misinformation. This is just false. From all the sources that I've seen, besides Simon Barnett, everything says that we're cost effective, including the company itself. And this is verified through peer-reviewed papers, through analysts like Larry Raymer, through this article right here. Plenty of, a plethora of sources. So I thought that was really cool. And then also, if we go down here, I like this paragraph right here. Growing adoption of Sapphire by hospitals and researchers. It's interesting how he says hospitals, because we haven't really got into that many hospitals, but that's interesting. And researchers bodes well for the future of the Bionano. That growing installed base will continue to purchase consumables for their systems as well. And that is the key to the business model of BNGO. Plenty of people like to be bearish and like to say this is too overhyped, it's too overvalued. One of the reasons why we've priced in so much future growth is because it's essentially guaranteed. And you heard that correctly. As long as we're selling even a minuscule, even a negligible amount of sapphires. What I mean is, even if we're selling like a couple sapphires a year, or 10 or 20, some really crazy low number, we are still going to increase revenue every single year and be on the path to profitability. That's as simple as it gets. And that's the beauty of the business model here, and that's the beauty of being a long-term investor with Bionano. All right, and it's because of the consumables. If you're going to use a sapphire, it's not just a one-time payment. If every single time you're going to use it, you got to pay the per genome fee. You got to purchase the kits, and the flow cells, and all the chips, and all the everything that contributes to consumable revenue. All right, now continuing, we're already seeing that effect in action with the company's growing revenue over the past several quarters. In addition, the company has over $330 million in cash. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then he ends it here. He's not the most fervent or vehement in saying he's a bull, but he ends it here pretty nicely. If you're looking to add a biotech company that offers long-term growth prospects for your portfolio, you could do a lot worse than BNGO. I would have liked if he could have said, at these prices, BNGO is a buy for long-term investors. That would have been much more confident, but still, hey, the more analysts that realize that there's something going on here. This isn't just a knockoff. This isn't just a scam. This isn't just a fraudulent company that doesn't have a legit product. No, this is something that has an extremely high chance of doing great things long term. The more people that admit that, the better, and the more people that think that, the better. I should say. Why do I always say admit? Anyways, going on to the revenue here. This is amazing. Okay, the revenue over year, the revenue increases are amazing, and this matters because I just want to let's just skip over this real quick, and either one I could use to say this point here. The revenue growth year over year. That is why in a way that's why we're here. And if we just look at the trajectory according to ChartMill, this is what we're going to see. I often say that we're going to go Bionano's next 10, 20 years is going to look like Illumina's chart pattern over that they had since 2000. And if we just look at the ChartMill revenue projections, you may notice this is 2025. Right now, this is where we're at, 2025. You can see the chart, I'm sure. It's exactly alike, right? If I show you Illumina's chart right here, you'll see exactly what I mean. Let's go to Illumina. Okay, it's exactly the same. It's exponentially increasing. There you go. And if this doesn't get you excited about the future, I don't know what will. So people say Bionano is not making much progress. Brandon, what are you doing? You're not a geneticist. Why are you in BNGO? The business model is too damn good, and the revenue increases are too likely to happen for me not to be in here. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Show me another company that has a product that's better than everything else in the world, that has analysts projecting freaking, what is this, 171 million in 2025. And this is actually, I'd say that's extremely conservative. Okay, for 2025, I'm saying what's our revenue projection here? Total revenue 222. Oh, because that's actually not as far off as I thought, but this is the bulk. This is the base case according to Ragnaros, his DCF model. I think we're going to get much more in this. And my point here is that even if bear case, this is ChartMill projecting this stuff here. These guys are not going to give a very favorable and a very extremely bullish projection to a company like BNGO. No, that's not how it works. These guys are conservative. They don't want to be wrong. People look at this site and base their credibility based on if they're right or not. And they would rather underpromise and overdeliver in a big way. That's just how analysts work that are projecting revenue over the long term. And the fact that they are projecting 172 million in 2025, That is beautiful. It's beautiful. What's the stock price going to be in 2025 if we're at 172 million? Well, let me tell you here. We're going to be profitable if we're making 172 million. Okay, we're going to be profitable even if we're making 150 million. Think about that. Right now, we got a $1.6 billion market cap, and we're not even profitable, man. The most important thing about a company is if you're making money. We are losing money at the current rate, and we are going very quickly in the other direction, right? And making money, going very quickly there, and it's just. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. The stock price increases will be insane. Okay, it will be insane. I don't know if it'll be quite 1,000%, but it will definitely be a couple 100% for sure. If we're going to be at 150 to $200 million in revenue and profitable, that's okay. Probably closer to 500% or more, if not higher than that. But there's a ton of other factors as well. Remember. So with that being said, let's go on to the upcoming events here. So this is October 19th to 23rd. This is the American Society of Human Genetics. Hoping they're going to do more about, hoping they're going to post more, honestly, than the ESHG thing that they still have not posted anything really about. I'm hoping there's going to be some papers or something that we get saying whether it was good or not, or what their reaction was. But that is something we have to look forward to. And before we go to the technical analysis real quick, if you haven't seen the video, I'm telling you, please consider go watching that video. It tells you everything you need to know about the NuProbe deal. Now, technical analysis wise, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. We are green on the day, about 1%. High growth went up pretty. High growth did pretty well today. Performed pretty well. And Bionano is doing well because this is the third consecutive day closing above the 21-day SMA. We have a little bit of an inverse hammer candle, you could call this. However, I don't really care. And the reason is because this chart pattern, as I've been saying for the last couple of days at least, it looks very similar to what happened on this run-up right here. Maybe this is what we're going to see. Bionano is going to go in these maybe somewhat predictable cycles, and maybe we're about to get a bull run here. Of course, high growth is going to have to do us some favors and give us the opportunity to do that. But if it does, I can absolutely see clearing 6 and 7. I can. That's going to come down. It's going to come down to high growth largely though. But what I will say for the technical analysis, right now we're in bullish territory. We're above the 21-day SMA. We're above the major moving averages. And or at least some of the major moving averages. Okay, we're not above the 200-day SMA. We're above the 200-day EMA though. So we got to take what we can get. And with that being said, here's a portfolio. Thank you all so much. Feel free to check out Newsweek. This is not financial advice. I will see y'all in the next one.